So GfK is indeed quite known already in the media measurement business, and I would say we divide our media measurement business in two big parts. There is a currency part where in question of some joint industry committees we organize, for example, the TV measurement or the radio measurement in a certain country, and Roland can tell you later on a bit more about that one. There is a second part which we call syndicated media research, and there GfK actually has about a decade experience in measuring digital. That means that we have our own panels on which we already applied software meters on their different devices that they have at home, on which we actually measure the digital consumption that families are having. We are doing that a lot in Iberia, in LATAM, and also in some countries in Europe. And that is actually also a big foundation of our digital audience measurement in Spain. And so in Spain, when the pitch was coming up for digital audience measurement, we actually used our asset that we have over here that is already measuring this, which is now actually a cornerstone of the digital audience measurement here, which is a single source panel of NetQuest that we use, and which we actually combine with census data. And in that sense, you could say, are we new in digital audience measurement? Yes, for a joint industry committee like we do it now in Spain, but not actually for out of experience, because there we have more than a decade of experience.
GfK has a long-standing history in doing different currencies. So we started, I think, back in the 80s, in the 1980s, with the TV measurement in Germany, and then also in other European countries. So we are doing currently TV measurement in 6 countries, both in Europe, but also for example, in Singapore, in Asia Pacific. Additionally, we also have a range of countries where we are doing radio audience measurement, so measuring what people are listening to. For example, in Switzerland with our Media Watch, a passive radio panel, but also in Australia and New Zealand with some e-diary and a hybrid approach that is combining, let's say, passive and active measurement technologies there. In the last years, it's becoming more and more important to enhance these, let's say, single media currencies where you measure like television on the one hand, but expanding them to what we call a total video or even a total media measurement. So you expand from the linear television also to digital videos on different platforms and different channels and sources, so that you have a full picture of the reach of a certain broadcaster or of a certain piece of content over the different channels. So all in all, GfK Media Measurement is active in around 15 to 20 markets in Europe, in Asia Pacific, and also in Latin America.
So winning at the digital audience measurement in Spain was for us really a stepstone, and because, like I said, we have a decade of experience in measuring cross media, which we think is a very good basis to start digital audience measurement from. In that sense, we are now really happy in Spain that we can do this, and we really feel that Spain can be an example for other countries. What do we mean with that? The Joint Industry Committee was here really open to use actually an asset which was existing in the market, put a part on top of it that they want to use for their proper digital audience measurement, but in that way really have a quite quick step how to get into the market. Also, the single source approach I think is for the Spanish market and very important because it gives new insights. And together and with the Spanish market as GfK, we are actually feel that we are innovating everything around digital audience measurement. And in that sense, GfK Dam Spain is for us really important because we are discovering together, setting it up here with the local Spanish team, because it's actually always important to work with the local teams in these kind of currencies. But for sure, we are learning a lot of lessons how to export this later on to other countries.
We we at GfK and also together with our clients in the different markets, we are always working across borders and over the different countries. It's perhaps not only a European project, it's even a kind of a global project where kind of different teams at GfK are contributing. Our heritage as GfK is clearly in Germany, as we are a German-based company with our headquarters in Nuremberg. Our core development center for our measurement technologies, for example, is in Switzerland. Our technology teams, the developers, the data scientists and so on some are based in Germany, some are based even in Barcelona, where we have created a technology hub also for digital metering technologies. We have others that are working in our Eastern European hubs. And of course, as you said, we have our local media team in Madrid. We have the NetQuest team in Barcelona and in other locations. So clearly it's kind of a thing where a lot of teams are contributing to the success and to actually making this project possible. So for us it is another cornerstone for enhancing our international cooperation, for also using the best technology and the best panel management and the best project management and the best kind of best practices to run such a project. So actually we also have learned a lot, and we are also looking forward for the further cooperation with the clients here in the market, to learn from them, to also take what we have learned here and then use it also for further development of the solution, but potentially also to use that solution which we have now implemented or are still implementing and improving in Spain, also in other markets like in LATAM, like in other European markets, or potentially other markets where GfK is active.
Maybe I want to add to that actually also the European angle is important in that one. And we feel that the European Commission is actually doing really a good of work on the protection of privacy and so on from consumers. And certainly on the digital audience measurement, approaching this project also with a lot of European experience in there really helps. Europe has GDPR and we know how to apply that, and that's also what we're fully applying here in Spain. I'm also pretty sure that other continents will be looking at what Europe is doing on that level. So I would not be surprised that in some other continents where maybe there's now a bit more of freedom, that also towards the future they will actually be looking like, how did Europe approach that, which is a more protected world on the level of privacy, and how do you run then a currency in these kind of countries. Funny to hear that companies don't consider Spain as a tier 1 country. It's one of the main European countries that you have on our continent. So not considering it as important is a bit odd for me. Spain always has been very close with GfK, and that means that we have our GfK departments here, and several of them. We have market insights here, we have our MCI teams here and so on, and we also have GfK Digital Audience Measurement Spain here. And that means that for us it was always an important market where we work on. That means also that the connection between GfK Spain and GfK Group is always there. And I think that now also typically comes forward, like Roland was saying, not only for this project, but we also have a tech hub over here in Spain. And actually, for the knowledge that we need to build here, the global teams need to be involved. And there is a very high focus actually from the GfK Group on what are we realizing in Spain, because for us it's clear that it belongs to the tier 1 countries. So at the potential merger, because it's still not approved by all authorities, but the potential merger between GfK and Nielsen IQ naturally means that two big research companies are coming together. There's anyhow consolidation in our industry going on. And it's then also important that GfK is also joining forces there with another industry player. For GfK itself means that GfK together with Nielsen IQ will become actually a very strong company on the level of insights on anything that is happening in fast-moving consumer goods and tech and durables. We are really the place to go to if you need information on that level. For Dam Spain, maybe making it very concrete for the project that we have up and running here. And maybe need to clarify that Nielsen IQ is not Nielsen Media. And so the GfK Media company will go into the new organization, but there is no asset of Nielsen IQ coming with that one. However, it also has an importance for what we are doing here. And that is in the sense, like I said, GfK Nielsen IQ will be the powerhouse for any tech and durable player out there, but certainly also for any fast mover player out there. And that means that the joint clients that the group GfK Nielsen IQ will has is very much linked to Digital Audience Measurement Spain, because a lot of the advertisers that are using Digital Audience Measurement Spain are also clients on the side of GfK Nielsen IQ. And in that sense, you could say it's on the joint clients that we will be even working more together.
We talked before about, let's say, also the European-based focus of that of that project, and also in terms of GDPR regulations, data privacy, and so on and so forth. I mean, it is really important, as Stefan mentioned. We are talking about Nielsen IQ, not about the Nielsen company. So actually the media expertise that is going into that merged company is the GfK expertise, and also the center of excellences and the DNA, what we talked before, of our operations in media is still the GfK kind of DNA. So this will be important also going forward to secure kind of this European angle, and also this kind of angle on regulations and on what is actually the best possible way of doing this piece in Europe. And then the good thing is that we then also bring additional power in discussions with, let's say, global platforms, because in a certain way we are doing research here based on European legislation, but with the existence of global platforms, with their rules, with their also power in the markets, and with their, let's say, shared access or not shared access to their data. And therefore we believe that the merged company will have a quite good positioning in having these discussions, on the one hand being really grounded and based on the European regulations and data privacy and everything, but on the other hand also kind of being a reliable and global kind of partner for the global platforms, so that we are able actually to bridge that gap between local or regional media markets and ecosystems on the one hand, and also global players on the other hand, to actually sort out the different interests and the different kind of discussions on that level, and then make the best out of it for the Spanish market, that all the market partners can get their insights, can grow their business, and actually improve the life of the consumers and all that stuff.